Chapter 1. What is the process? We live in a world obsessed with speed. If it isn't happening fast, we assume it isn't working. If it's not public, we assume it isn't real. If it's not visible, we assume it doesn't matter. We scroll past transformation, expecting it to come in highlight reels. We've confused momentum with meaning. We've confused motion with progress. But real growth, the kind that changes who you are, not just what you have, doesn't happen in the spotlight. It happens in the shadows. It happens when no one is watching. It happens in silence, in stillness, in surrender. Spiritual growth doesn't move at the pace of hustle. It moves at the pace of healing. It moves at the pace of trust. And trust takes time. The process isn't a punishment. It's a passage. It's not proof that you're behind. It's evidence that you're being built. A passage isn't comfortable. It's narrow. It's dark. It's stretching. But it leads somewhere sacred. You are not being delayed. You are being developed. You are not forgotten. You are being formed. The process is God's workshop. It's where He chisels the noise, where He peels away performance, where He separates identity from achievement, where He removes the pressure to prove. It's not glamorous. There are no fans, no applause, no shortcuts. It's lonely. It's quiet. It's hidden. But it's holy. This is the soil of true character. This is where your roots learn to go deep, so that when the storm comes, you don't get ripped from the ground. You bend, but you don't break. You don't rush the process, because rushing leads to ruin. You don't skip steps, because shortcuts sabotage sustainability. You don't fear the quiet, because you learn that silence isn't the absence of God. It's the presence of intimacy. The spotlight may reveal your gift, but only the process can build your endurance. It prepares your mind to handle favor. It strengthens your heart to survive responsibility. It stretches your capacity so that blessing doesn't break you. Because let's be honest, many people are talented enough to get through the door, but only the formed can stay in the room. The process teaches you how to stay, how to carry, how to lead, how to serve, how to finish well. It strips away hype and builds holiness. It exchanges your timeline for God's. It slows you down to teach you to listen. And here's the hardest part. It's slow, it's long, it's uncelebrated, but it's exactly where you need to be. Because if God gave you the outcome now, you wouldn't be able to hold it. You'd fumble the favor. You'd worship the win. You'd forget the one who gave it. So He waits, He watches, and He works in ways you can't yet see. He prepares you in private, so when the door opens you don't perform, you carry. You don't fake peace, you live in it. You don't chase validation, you already know who you are. Because you trusted the formation more than the arrival. Because you embraced the breaking, you leaned into the silence. You didn't quit when it was quiet. You didn't run when it got dark. You stayed. You stayed in the stretch. You stayed in the shadows. You stayed in the surrender. And because of that, you didn't just get through the process. You let it shape you. Now you carry weight. Now you carry wisdom. Now you are ready. Not because the world said so, but because God shaped you for it. This is the process, and it was never a detour. It was always the plan. Chapter 2. When life doesn't make sense, you did what you thought was right. You followed the signs. You trusted the prompting. You stepped out on faith. And now, nothing makes sense. The clarity you had? Gone. The energy you felt? Fading. The progress you made? Paused. You're stuck between where you used to be and where you thought you'd already be by now. You're in that strange space between obedience and outcome, the part nobody talks about. This is where trust is tested. This is where your roots are revealed. And the temptation? To panic, to retreat, to go back to what was familiar, even if it wasn't fruitful. But hear this. Confusion is not the same as being lost. Delay is not the same as denial. Stillness is not the same as failure. Sometimes God removes the map, so you'll start relying on the guide. When you don't understand what He's doing, trust who He is. When the answers go quiet, pay attention, because in the silence, He speaks in different ways. Through peace, through people, through doors that stay closed, through the deep gut level knowing that you're not supposed to move yet. God's not confused. He's constructing something bigger than you imagined. Sometimes the only way to step into alignment is to be slowed down. And sometimes the pause is protection. He's not trying to frustrate you. He's trying to form you. You don't have to understand the why to still obey the what. So breathe. You're not off track. You're being refined. Chapter 3. Why it hurts. You asked God to grow you. You asked Him to prepare you, to make you strong, to use you for more. But you didn't know that growth would feel like grief. You didn't know that preparation would feel like pressure. You didn't know that pruning would feel like loss. Nobody tells you that sometimes. The process breaks your heart to open it. Pain is part of the formation, not because God is cruel, but because comfort rarely transforms you. Comfort keeps you the same. Pain opens you up. Pain pushes you to reflect, to let go, to ask different questions, to stop performing and start healing. The deeper the calling, the more painful the shaping, because you're not being built for shallow things. You're not being equipped to carry light loads. God is forming you to walk through fire and still stand. That heartbreak, He's using it. That loss, He's redeeming it. That loneliness, He's filling it. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. You are not being abandoned. You are being anchored. And when the pain no longer serves the purpose, it will lift. Until then, trust that even this pain is producing something precious. Chapter 4. The seed must break. A seed doesn't grow by staying intact. It must go underground. It must be buried. It must break. There's no way around it. The breaking is part of the becoming. And before it ever rises, it goes deep. Roots form before stems. Foundations are set before flowers bloom. No one claps for the seed while it's hidden. No one celebrates the soil. No one cheers for the darkness. But that's where it all begins. You may feel like everything is falling apart. But what if it's actually falling into place? What if the breaking you feel is just the beginning of something bigger? Don't resist the soil, the pressure, the darkness. It's not a grave, it's a garden. And you are not being buried. You are being planted. Chapter 5. Delays are not denials. You prayed, you hoped, you prepared, but the door didn't open. And now you're wondering, did I miss it? Did I do something wrong? Why not now? But delay is not denial. It's development. God's timing isn't just about what He gives. It's about when you're ready to receive it. Because some blessings, if given too early, would become burdens. So He holds back, not to deprive you, but to prepare you. He's building your endurance. He's sharpening your vision. He's teaching you how to steward what's coming. You're not missing your moment. You're being molded for it. The longer the wait, the stronger the foundation. So don't resent the delay. Embrace it, because it's filled with wisdom, preparation, and precision. Chapter 6. How to keep going. What do you do when you're tired but haven't seen the harvest? When you've shown up again and again but still feel stuck, you simplify. You strip it back. You focus on the next right step, not the big finish, not the perfect ending, just the faithful middle. Keep showing up. Keep praying. Keep doing the small things. The seed doesn't sprout the day it's planted, but growth still begins. Here's how you keep going. Remember your why. Revisit the promise, not the pressure. Talk to God like He's close, because He is. Speak life over yourself. Refuse to quit on a hard day. You don't need to run. You just need to not retreat. Chapter 7. Even when it feels like nothing's happening, not all progress is visible. Not all healing is dramatic. Not all breakthroughs announce themselves. Sometimes growth looks like choosing peace when you used to panic. Sometimes it's walking away from what doesn't feel right, even when it's tempting. Sometimes it's holding your tongue. Sometimes it's showing up with less and still giving your best. That's progress. That's evidence. Even when you can't feel it, the work is working. God doesn't waste effort. God doesn't waste obedience. What you're doing matters, even if no one claps, even if no one sees, even if the results take time. You are becoming. Keep going. Chapter 8. God's timing is perfect. God sees what you can't. He knows what's ahead. He's protecting you from what would have crushed you and preparing you for what will sustain you. When it comes, you'll know why it had to take time, why the shortcut would have ruined it, why the wait was worth it. Timing isn't just about calendars. It's about character. God's timing is tied to who you're becoming, not just what you're receiving. So if it hasn't happened yet, trust that something better is happening in you. Because when the time comes, you won't have to force it. You'll walk into it with grace. Chapter 9. Remember the stories. Moses wasn't called in the palace. He was refined in the desert. Joseph wasn't promoted in comfort. He was elevated through prison. David wasn't crowned overnight. He was shaped in the wilderness. Jesus wasn't revealed by the crowd. He was tested in the garden. Why do we think we'll be the exception? God's best work happens behind the scenes. He hides you to hold you. He refines you to reveal you. The process isn't new, and you're not alone in it. There's a pattern, there's a purpose, and there's a promise. God finishes what he starts. Chapter 10. A prayer for the journey. God, thank you for the quiet days. Thank you for the waiting seasons. Thank you for the moments I didn't understand, but trusted anyway. Remind me that nothing is wasted. Not the delay, not the heartbreak, not the tears. You are using it all. Make me strong in the stretch. Make me patient in the process. Make me faithful in the forming. I surrender my timeline. I release my expectations. I choose to trust the plan I can't yet see. Thank you for preparing me for what's next, even when it doesn't feel like preparation. I believe that what you start, you complete, and that the process was never meant to punish me. It was meant to prepare me. Amen.